0 o'clock to 0:15, ever woken up and felt like your day was going to be a struggle? Imagine waking up a million years ago. No coffee, no smartphone, just the raw, untamed wilderness. Your only goal? Survive until sunset. This wasn't just a bad day. This was life for our earliest ancestors. 0:15, 0:45, let's rewind the clock, not by a few decades, but by millions of years. We're in the vast, open savannas of Africa. This is the world of hominins, the pioneers of the human story. Forget everything you know about modern comfort. Here, the rustle in the tall grass isn't just the wind. It could be a saber-toothed cat deciding on its next meal. The sky isn't just a canvas for clouds. It's the domain of giant eagles looking for prey. 0:45, 1:15, survival wasn't a choice. It was a full-time, high-stakes job. So what did our ancestors have in their toolkit? Not much. By our standards, they had their hands, their wits, and most importantly, they had each other. Their bodies were built for endurance, capable of covering vast distances under the scorching sun. Their brains, though smaller than ours, were already wired for problem-solving and social cooperation. 1:15, 2 o'clock, the first challenge was finding food. You couldn't just walk into a supermarket, so the world was their pantry, but everything was locked away. They were master foragers, learning through generations which plants were nutritious and which were deadly. They'd dig for roots and tubers, gather berries and fruits, and collect insects. This wasn't a gourmet meal, but it was fuel. It was life. They developed an encyclopedia of botanical knowledge in their minds, a skill passed down from parent to child. 2 o'clock to 2:45, but plants alone weren't always enough. Our ancestors needed protein, and that meant meat. Initially, they weren't the mighty hunters we often pictured. They were expert scavengers. Imagine seeing a pride of lions take down a giant buffalo. The sensible thing would be to run, right? But for our ancestors, this was an opportunity. They would wait patiently for the powerful predators to have their fill and leave. Then, with caution and courage, they would dash in. 2:45, 3:30. This is where the first tools come in. Think about a simple, sharpened stone. It doesn't look like much, but in the hands of an early human, it was a game changer. It was the key to unlocking the leftovers. With these primitive choppers, they could break open bones to get to the nutrient-rich marrow inside, or slice off scraps of meat the original predators couldn't reach. This was the dawn of technology, a simple stone that would pave the way for everything to come. 3:34:15, this shift to eating more meat and marrow was a crucial turning point. This high-energy food source provided the calories needed to fuel a growing brain. It's a fascinating feedback loop. Smarter brains led to better tools and strategies for getting meat, and more meat provided the energy for brains to get even bigger. We were literally eating our way to intelligence. This dietary change didn't just shape our bodies, it shaped our minds. For 5 o'clock, but the world wasn't just about finding food, it was about not becoming food. The prehistoric world was a land of giants. There were mammoths, giant ground sloths, and terrifying predators at every turn. A lone hominin was incredibly vulnerable. Survival was a team sport. They lived in small, tight-knit groups. These groups were their family, their defense system, and their social safety net. 5 o'clock, 5:45, living in a group meant they could watch out for each other. While some foraged, others stood guard, scanning the horizon for danger. A warning call could mean the difference between life and death. They learned to read the landscape to understand the behavior of the animals they shared it with. They knew which watering holes were dangerous and what time of day was safest to be out in the open. This collective knowledge was their greatest shield. 5:45, 6:30, and then came fire. It's hard to overstate how monumental this discovery was. We don't know exactly when or how it happened. Maybe it started with a lightning strike that set a tree ablaze. But at some point, our ancestors didn't just run from the flames. They learned to control them, to harness their power. Suddenly, the long, dark, dangerous night was transformed. 6:37:15, a campfire became the center of their world. It provided warmth against the cold, a way to ward off nocturnal predators, and a new way to prepare food. Cooking meat not only made it easier to chew and digest, but it also killed harmful bacteria, making their food supply safer and more reliable. Fire literally lit the path for human expansion and development. 7:15, 8 o'clock, but the impact of fire went beyond the purely practical. Imagine huddling around a crackling fire with your group after a long day. The flickering light creates a space of safety and community. This was likely where social bonds were strengthened. It was around the fire that they shared food, perhaps developed more complex forms of communication and shared knowledge. The hearth became the heart of the community. 8 o'clock at 45 as millennia passed, our ancestors didn't just survive, they thrived. They adapted and innovated. Tools became more sophisticated. Simple choppers evolved into beautifully crafted hand axes. The Swiss Army knife of the Stone Age, used for everything from butchering animals to woodworking. They learned to hunt larger game, coordinating in groups to take down animals many times their size. This required planning, communication, and immense courage. 845, 930, this journey wasn't a straight line. It was a brutal process of trial and error, played out over countless generations. There were periods of abundance and times of devastating scarcity. Climate change forced them to adapt or perish. They spread out from Africa, populating the globe, facing new environments, new challenges, and new opportunities. Each new landscape demanded new solutions, pushing their ingenuity to its limits. 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by your day, take a moment to think about these ancient pioneers. Every single one of us is a descendant of someone who survived against impossible odds. The resourcefulness, the cooperation, the sheer will to live is encoded in our DNA. We are the legacy of a million-year struggle. It's a humbling and inspiring thought. Thank you so much for journeying back in time with me today. If you enjoyed this, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure.